Good day, everyone. My name is Savi, and my metric number is MH22008. So, as for today, I'll be presenting about Pareto chart in Six Sigma. So, as for the objective of Pareto chart, there are three main objectives for Pareto chart. So, as for the first one, it will be for identifying key issue by using Pareto chart. So, as for Pareto chart, it points out the significant cause that contribute to a problem and have a greatest impact in the problem. And for the second one will be prioritize solution by applying the 80-20 rule to determine the issue to handle first to ensure that the resources are allocated and effective maximum improvement. And the third one will be enhanced decision making by using Pareto chart. So as for Pareto chart is a data-driven decision and improvise the process in service sector, manufacturing, and business. So basically, for Pareto chart, it's a data-driven graph to be used when improvising the manufacturing or service sector or business sector. So the next will be on the history of Pareto chart. So as for Pareto chart, it was originated from an Italian economist who will be Vilfredo Pareto in 1896. Through an observation, he noticed that 80% of the wealth in Italy were controlled by 20% of the population. As for 80-20 application, whereby the rule application extended beyond the economics, whereby it applied in business, quality control, process improvement to find the cost area that contribute to a major outcome. And as for modern usage, nowadays are used in Lean and Six Sigma to prioritize the effort, focusing on main factors that have significant impact on the performance quality throughout the process. So what is Pareto chart basically? So as for Pareto chart, it's a graphical chart that displays data in descending order of frequency or impact of each observation that helps to identify the most factor that impacts on the data set. As you can see from the graph, as for the bars, it shows that the number of defects, and as for the line, it shows the cumulative percentage of the total effect or defects. The next will be on the principle of 80-20 rule. So as for 80-20 rule, it's stating that 80% of the outcome are driven by the 20% of effort. And as for the principle shows that the unequal distribution whereby a small portion of input would lead to a larger portion of result or consequences. And as for the concept would help to identify the initiative and the impact on the economic and businesses in order to prevent it from happening. So what is the purpose of using Pareto chart? So as for using Pareto chart, it helps to identify the most important problem and causes from the issue that happening in the process. And as for the second one, it will be it directs the effort and resources toward area that will bring most benefits. And for the third one, it will be on based on data-driven aids to improvise the quality and efficiency. And for the fourth one, it shows more clearer view of pattern of the most significant issue that occur in the process of manufacturing or business or social services. And for the fifth one, it will be based on help in monitoring progress over time and changes impact to solve the problem. And you can see from the graph, as for the product 1 until the product 5, it shows that significant increase of better grain in the process, which shows can be used from Pareto chart as a better improvement. So as for in this slide, if there are two horizontal lines. Based on the structure of Pareto graph just now, or the chart just now. So this is an example of Pareto chart that are used in an automotive assembly plant to, to detect the defect or spring mechanism in the process of manufacturing a vehicle. So as for in this example, it shows that the most or the highest issue among the paint defect are in the paint which required immediate action in order to solve in the automatic assembly plant. So as for you can see in the graph, it shows that the cumulative percentage of defect are getting higher and higher, and as for the most issue that cause in the automotive assembly plant are the dirt, and followed by acid, and followed by orange peel, then thin paint, and sealant under, and the rest of it are slowly decreasing one by one. And in this slide, I will explain on how to create a Pareto chart in Excel. So as for the first part, you will have to insert the data first into the Excel and select the complaint type and count altogether. Once you already selected, go to the Insert Data tab and select Descending Order. So once you have already set the data to be descending order, then you will have to calculate the cumulative count by dragging down the formula, which one you will have to plus the count and cumulative inverted, whereby you will get the cumulative count. So once you already got the cumulative count, you will have to calculate the cumulative percentage by entering the formula as well. Once you already calculated using the formula, you can just drag down and it will show the percentage of the cumulative percentage. So once you already got the cumulative percentage, you will have to select on the component type, count and cumulative percentage, and go to the insert tab and click on the column symbol. So once you already click on the column symbol, and you will have to select on the 2D column. So once you already selected for the clustered column in the 2D, it will show you the graph. And once you already got the graph, you will have to right click on the orange bar on the graph, whereby it shows that cumulative percentage of the chart. So once you already click on it, and you will have to select on the change series chart type in the slide. So once you already have click on the change series in the chart type, you will get this one window where will be the change chart type. So as for the count part, you will have to select on the clustered column, and for this cumulative percentage, you will have to choose on the line F markers and click on the secondary axis. So once you already click on it, then you can click OK in order for it to show in the Pareto chart. So once you already have done that, you will have to go to the format axis. Once you already go to the format axis, right click on it and the percentage on the chart, and you will have to set the maximum to be 100, whereby it will show in the graph to be the total or the maximum, it will be on the 100%. So once you already have followed the step-by-step solution for the creation of the Pareto chart in Excel, it will show you this graph. So as for once the graph already displayed, you can just read through the graph. So as for this Pareto chart, it shows that 80% of the complaint are come from 20% of complaint type, whereby it from the price and a small portion of the food in the restaurant. So for the next slide, it will be based on DMAIC. So what is DMAIC? So as for D, it stands for define, M, it stands for measure, A stands for analyze, I stands for improve, and C stands for control. So as for define, it identifies the inefficient and quality issue, and for M for measure, it shows for collect data on problem or defect, and for analyze, it shows for use Pareto chart to find the root cause or the impact. And as for the I improve, which will be focusing on fixing 20% of the problem that have 80% of impact on the process. And for C, it will be on control, whereby the monitoring of the main problem to ensure the issue are reduced or decline slowly. So what are the uses in Pareto chart in Lean and Six Sigma? So the usage of Pareto chart in Lean and Six Sigma, it helps to identify the root cause and the critical problem that occur in defect or manufacturing, businesses, and economics. And for the second one will be prioritized for the action to be improved, whereby it focuses on improvement effort on the most contributing causes to the issue. And the third one, it will be on clearer visualization, whereby conveying information with easy understanding of graphic. And the fourth one will be supports DMAIC phrase, whereby it uses in the analyze phrase to analyze the problem data for the problem that are causing in the process. So as for on the next slide, it will be based on advantages of Pareto chart in Six Sigma. So the first one, it will be prioritization. So as for Pareto chart, it helps the team to focus on the most important problems that are causing the biggest impact from the process. And for the second one, it will be based on improved communication, whereby the nature of visual Pareto chart, it helps the team to easier to explain the complex data to the stakeholders by helping them to understand and support the solution that are being suggested. The third one, it will be based on the root cause analysis. As for Pareto chart, it assists to find the root cause of the issue and make it easier to identify what are the needs to be fixed. The fourth one, it will be based on the progress monitoring. As for Pareto chart, helps to track improvement over time and shows the effort working and whereby the adjustment are needed in the process. And for the fifth one, it will be based on data-driven decision. And for the Pareto chart, it provides more clearer, organized way to make decisions based on data, removing guesswork from the improvement process. Whereby Pareto chart, it helps more and more in order for the team to focus on the critical issue to be fixed at the moment in the process. The next part, it will be based on disadvantage of Pareto chart in Six Sigma. So there are 5 issues that are being highlighted for the Pareto chart, whereby the first one, it will be based on oversimplification of the chart. So as for Pareto chart, it may miss the important issues by focusing only the biggest cost by ignoring the smaller issues that could significant when it combined. And for the second one, as for Pareto chart, it focuses on past data So as for Pareto chart, it only relies on historical data, which may not always reflect to the current problem or future trend. And for the third one, it will be the inability to provide solution. As for Pareto chart, able to identify the key problem, but they don't offer solution, whereby additional tools are needed to develop or implement the corrective action. And for the fourth one, it will be limited scope. As for the Pareto chart, focus on discrete factors and may not be useful for analyze continuous data or complex relationships between factors. And for the last one, it will be based on exclusion of important factors. The analysis may miss key factors if they are included in the chart by giving an incomplete view of the problem. So there are few supporting tools that can be used for the Pareto chart. So for the first one, it will be fishbone diagram, which is Ishikawa diagram, whereby it helps to identify the root cause of the problem by visualizing mapping out potential cause and their effect in a structured way. And for the second part, it will be based on 5 why, whereby 5 why is a straightforward method for determining what the main cause and issue to ask why 5 times or higher. And for the third one, it will be based on control chart, whereby it monitors process stability and spot trend changes or variance by tracking data over time. And for the fourth one, it will be based on histogram, a specific kind of bar chart that displays data distribution, and it is helpful for figuring out frequently various values within the dataset. And for the final part, it will be based on conclusion. So as for Pareto chart, it's a provide powerful technique for prioritizing organization for the most pressing issue by using the 80-20 principle. And by concentrating on the critical issues that are the cause in the largest number of problems, organization can be more organized in their effort to solve the most occurring issue. And in the context of other tools such as visual diagram, histogram, and control chart, and Pareto chart, help teams to drill down the root cause that can be improvised in order from efficiency or low defect. This major methodology could have a real and tangible impact on the major department like production, logistics, and customer service, whereby they can improvise their quality and client satisfaction for their product outcome. So as for the reference part, there are few references that are being referred in order to do these slides for the Six Sigma. So the first one will be what is Pareto chart. The second one will be the 80-20 concept. The third one will be also based on Pareto chart in Six Sigma. And the fourth one will be lean manufacturing in and Six Sigma definition. And the fifth one will be Pareto chart diagram for chart, histogram, and Pareto chart. And for this next one, it will be based on the six, which will be the Six Sigma Academy in Amsterdam, whereby they show how to do the Pareto chart in Excel. And for the seven, it will be based on Lean Six Sigma tool, whereby the supporting tool that can be used in Pareto chart. And for the eighth one, it will be based on Six Sigma and Pareto analysis. And for the last part, whereby the Six Sigma and Pareto analysis, where it shows that how effective are the Pareto chart in help for the manufacturing part to improvise their manufacturing in the process and how they are able to overcome their problems. So that will be it from me. Thank you and have a good day.